Hello everybody, it's Shayna with Robinson Repurposing, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I flipped this little filing cabinet into like a much more modern looking, just better looking to me anyway, piece of furniture that I'm going to be using in my house. Okay, so as usual we start by removing the hardware. Okay, so this filing cabinet, this bottom drawer is missing, and this one, I'm not gonna worry about it because it's just for me. I'm keeping this and I don't really want to deal with that. And then the other thing I was gonna say is the hardware in this is like, it's kind of hard to get these drawers out. So to sand this, I'm just gonna lay it down on its back and I'm gonna sand these fronts. Now my plan at this moment is to stain these two drawer fronts, and then I'm gonna paint the rest of this thing like a whitish cream color. That's my plan at the moment, but we will see. Okay, so I have my sander and I have 40 grit sandpaper that I'm getting ready to sand the two drawer fronts with. But I discovered that I will have a hard time getting my sander clear down onto this. Okay, so I'm gonna have a hard time though getting my sander down onto down in this, because there's like this little rim here and this little rim, so I'm not gonna be able to sand that very well. So I'm gonna use these boards and I'm gonna prop this up so I can sand it really well. Okay, so like I said, I'm just elevating that drawer a little bit so that I can sand that whole front. And like I said, I don't want to have to take this drawer out because it's like not really a full drawer and I just don't want to deal with all that hardware. So this is the best way I can find to sand this front. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Okay, so I got those drawer fronts sanded, and then I got the first coat on. A different day here, so ignore that big puffy jacket that I'm wearing because I look like a goofball, but it was cold this day, so you know. Anyway, then I'm taking this sanding block and I'm just getting off the white paint that I accidentally got on the fronts, and I'm just getting those edges a little bit better than I did with my sander. Okay, and then next step, just cleaning that off really well. And all I used here was water because I just didn't want to have to deal with anything else waiting for it to dry and all of that. So I just used water here and cleaned this off really well. Okay, and then this next part, I used these staining pads and a paintbrush. And in this part, I wanted to show you guys, I kind of did an experiment just because for myself, I'm keeping this piece. And I've never used what's it called, pre-stain before. That stuff right there, that pre-conditioner, wood conditioner, whatever you want to call it, I can't remember exactly what it's called. I used that on this bottom drawer because like I said, wanted to experiment. I wanted to see if this is like worth it or not, because I've never used it and I've never felt the need to use it. So anyway, I used it on this bottom drawer, and I did not use it on the top. So here in a second you'll see me starting in on staining the top, and I will try to screenshot these colors and put them in here for you. These were Poly Shades, the product, and I love this. It's stain and sealer all in one, so it's one step. You don't have to seal this after you're done. And so far, like for this project, I love it. I would not, in my experience so far, I would not use it on like a tabletop or something that you want to be very smooth and very perfect. I would not use it, or I will have to play around with it and see if I can, you know, do a better job. But it's a little rough, like, so maybe I need to put it on with a different, like not a paintbrush. But for this project, it was perfectly fine. So anyway, you'll see me there just putting on the stain, and I use two different colors because that is a method that I like to do. I like to use two different stains. Sometimes it just gives you sometimes a prettier, like, I don't know how to explain it. I just like the way it looks sometimes. And so anyway, I just used this staining pad to just kind of wipe that back off real smooth, because I thought that was what would help me get a smooth finish in the end on the front of this drawer. And I don't know how to explain this without you like actually feeling it in real life, but it's just not a smooth finish like you get when you actually use polyacrylic. So anyway, and then here in a second, I start staining the bottom. After that bottom, the wood conditioner dried. I only let it dry for maybe like 30 minutes. So maybe I should have let it dry longer. But anyway, what I have to say about that is I noticed that the bottom drawer soaked in the stain a little better. Like, okay, so the dark stain that I used on the top drawer, it didn't show up that well. But on the bottom drawer, the stain colors showed up really well. Like, I guess you could say they showed up more accurately to their description, like on the jar, the can. You know what I'm saying? So basically, like, if you want it to show up like accurately, I would definitely suggest that. Like I said, I've never used this before, so this was an experiment for me, but that's a main conclusion that I came to, that it made my stains like just look their actual color better, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining that well. Here I'm getting ready to start the staining the bottom drawer, and the can that I have right there in front of me, the little tiny blue one and then the golden one, those are the two stain colors I'm using. And then that red can right there, that's the like wood conditioner. So I don't feel like I described that very well earlier, but I'm gonna put pictures in this video so you'll know what I'm talking about. But see here, you can already tell that the drawer is just taking that stain. Like, it is just, and it's the pigment, I guess. Okay, that's the word I'm looking for. Pigment is very pigmented, and on the top drawer, the pigment, I don't know, just kind of went away. And so I don't know if that pre-conditioner helps with the pigment. Well, that is exactly the word I was looking for earlier. But yeah, so you can just keep watching this process, and you can see, I feel like the drawers looked basically the same in the end though, but definitely the main thing I noticed with using the wood conditioner, the pre-conditioner, whatever you call it, it just helps the stain look its better self, like brighter and more pigmented. So that there was me trying to get there was like a bunch of stains sitting in that hole there, and then there was a bristle from my brush, whatever you want to call those, on the piece, and I just wiped it off with the paper towel and then kept smoothing it out. Okay, so for this next part, I could have handled it if I really wanted to, but it's so much easier for Axel to do this kind of stuff for me because he just, I don't know, the tools and all the things. So normally you could buy like the hardware kits from the store and put your legs on with that, but it's so expensive for that. The spindles themselves are super expensive. So anyway, we just used some 2x4s. Like I said, since we're keeping this piece, I didn't care if it was like, you know, perfectly well made, like perfect, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, he just took his drill and all that you saw there and drilled some holes and then some wood glue, and we used that tight bond glue right back there sitting on the table. I forgot to video that part. And then he just screwed them down in there, and then I stained them here in a second. Okay, and then like one of the last steps here, I just spray painted the hardware with a matte black spray paint. And then I actually wanted white, but I didn't want to have to wait. My husband was running to town to get me spray paint, and I just didn't want to have to wait, so I just went ahead and did black so it would dry, and then I could get it put on and get done with this project. And I end up loving the way the black looks. So here I was just showing you guys me put the hardware back on and being all clumsy, dropping all the screws. Okay, and here's a final look at how it turned out. I just have it on my porch for now because it's still kind of stinky and I'm just letting the fumes air off. But I love how it turned out. I'm going to bring it in the house and I'm going to use it by my desk. So yeah, let me know what you all think in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching.